Guten Abend, willkommen, happy Easter, happy everything. Welcome, welcome to the shed down the bottom of the snaky garden, and thanks for joining me again for another few tunes and a bit of confusing banter. I hope you're doing all right. Perhaps you're sitting down to a big old Easter Sunday dinner with me in the background. That's fine, you use me as you like. Use me, abuse me. So yeah, happy Easter, my chicks and my hens out there. Oh man, it's so similar to playing live, properly live. This bit is so calm and wonderful, and I'm with you guys, and everything is safe and lovely. But before that, it's madness and it's confusing, and me and Joe Greyhair are running around like checking things and firing things up and restarting things and plugging cables in, and it's mad. And all the machines are on and the screens are on. I tell you what, it's hotter than a teenager's bedroom in here, honestly. But now, so once again, Easter celebrations, and we're all missing folks who should be with us, or we should be with them. Birthdays, Helen, happy birthday, Helen Simmons, birthday girl, and you get that thing where you see things flash up in your diary because you haven't deleted them because everything's mad. So, like last night, I would have been down the rope walk, playing with my boys, doing the classic sax solo show, and many of you would have been there with me, and it would have been lovely, lovely. But we had a good night here last night anyway, and things are changing. I don't know. Maybe I'm no longer a gigging musician. I'm a YouTuber. Oh dear, I'm too old to be a YouTuber. Yeah, it's strange that. I must go through my diary and delete just about everything. But welcome. And you know that many of you are regulars now, and thank you. And so it is as a community feeling. You're chatting amongst yourselves and answering questions, and you're the flock. And so when somebody goes missing, it's a bit worrying, and so especially if it's people who are there every night, saying hi and all that. So when we lost Paul and Jane a while ago, first of all we thought, I got somewhat better to do than something on the telly, but we started to worry, and in fact we weren't wrong to worry because Jane had the bug, and it was bad, but she's out of hospital, and she's back. So welcome back, Jane. So glad. And so it's only fair that I play your request, which was for Fuji sightings, a tune I haven't attempted ever without my boys. So I gave that a bit of thought today, and features the shakuhachi again, which is I think it's the ideal Sunday night instrument for when we're being chilled and relaxed and gentle. And Fuji sighting, written by myself and Mark Creswell, my guitar player mucker. And I tour Japan often, as I probably mentioned to you. And those tours, these days are maybe just a couple of months, but in the early days, they used to be 4 months long. And that's a long, lonely time to be away from the fam and living out of a hotel and everything. So, although I love Japan, there's lonely times, and you kind of need things to hang on to cheer you up, if you know what I mean. And sometimes from Tokyo, like Mount Fuji is 40 odd miles from Tokyo, maybe 50. But if you're high enough up in the hotel, or you walk up a high building, or find the right bridge to walk over, you can see it on a clear day, And when we take the train down to the southern cities, Osaka particularly, once again, if it's a clear day, big if, and you're on the right hand side of the train going south, you can get a beautiful view, and it's such an inspiring sight, and especially when you're away, and so that's why I wrote this tune, and Mark helped me with the harmony and all that kind of thing, like chords. I don't deal with chords too much if I don't have to. So So today I went back to the studio sessions because we recorded this. We recorded this 2 or 3 times, but most recently recorded it on an album which came out this year called, imaginatively, The Snake Davis Trio, which is myself, Mark, and my wonderful trumpet playing buddy Johnny Thurkel. He's had the bug as well, and he was really bad. He escaped hospital, but he suffered with this. Oh, he did suffer, but he's back as well. So double celebration, I hope, and everybody's back, and it's a beautiful lineup. It's very mellow. It's a Sunday night lineup. So I did a mix of that album session with just Mark and John, so I can noodle along with them and feel like they're with me in the room. So, and I think I was telling you the other night, I never ever listen to my albums. I don't know. It just feels weird. If somebody puts them on, I kind of leave the room. Occasionally you'll go to a restaurant, and if the restaurant owner knows you, they might put your music on. And if I know them well enough, I say, could you take it off, please, so I can enjoy my food. But when I do, when there's a situation like today, when I need to listen to it, oh man, I should listen to it more often. Mark on the guitar is getting such amazing sounds, making it sound like a sitar or something. And Johnny, we keep him in the wings till right at the end, and he comes in. It's like prostrate myself in front of you. Is that the right word? Yeah, lie down, lie down, and give him flowers. You'll see what I mean. So, all right, bit of technology coming up. Yes, and yes, and yes, and start the boys off. Fuji sighting. There you go, Jane. Welcome home. And thank you, Mr. Mark Cresswell, and thank you, Mr. Johnny Thurkle, the governors, best in the business. Ah, dear. So, people ask what our lives are like, freelance gigging musicians. And of course, there's loads and loads of travel, and there's the gigs, and there's the sound checks. But really, most of our lives, most of our professional lives is spent practicing, getting it together and warming up and trying to get better and pushing the boundaries. And that's the bit you don't see and hopefully don't hear. My crazy buddy Dave Bowie, he called me today and he said, "So I've got this theory," he said. It's because he started jogging at whatever age he is. He said, because you jog, and you're not supposed to jog every day, you jog every 2 or 3 days, you let the muscles recover. He said, and Dave plays double bass mainly. And he says, maybe we're practicing too much. Maybe we should only practice every other day. I'm thinking, mate, if that's right, I've wasted half my life. He says, because maybe, you practice for a day and then you need a day to assimilate. I'm like, well, shut up. I don't want to hear this. It's too late for me. Oh, man. But I kind of understood what you're saying as well. And actually, Johnny Thurkle, he's really, he thinks a lot as well. Too much, probably. He thinks he should be sleeping. And he's big into cognitive learning and applying those sort of mental drills and things to your practice. And there's a lot in that. Okay, I'm not too old. Not too old to learn new tricks. I've got to study all that stuff and see what can be done. Let me put this down. Things are in different places tonight, so if I'm losing things, you can just say, they're behind you. And we've got one orange light down there. It's all that's left of my my little lighting rig that I used to take on the road. All the other lights are broken. But I noticed yesterday it's pointing at my feet. So I've swiveled it around a little bit. It's pointing at my tummy now. So we're getting there. The show is getting more professional as the shows roll on. Number 17 tonight. I can't believe it. Locked down for 17 shows. Big thanks, Midge and Michael, contributing to Joe's hair dye fund. Oh, let me have a look. See who's there and what you're saying. Oh, anybody's here. Richard and Ann, Kingy, Phil Udall, happy Easter, mate. Barry Blake. Oh, Barry Blake from Nesborough. Duncan's on the Roku gin. Japanese gin. Cast of thousands. The Reverend Danny's in. Paul Bibb's in. Lynn's in. Robert Isles is back, sax player. I ain't got time to read what you're saying because there's so many of you. So, happy birthday, Garner's down the road. Happy birthday. I mean, not birthday. Easter. I'm losing it. Right. Let me do what I do best. Play some music. My mate Robin Smith from Cheltenham, he dropped in once or twice, quite a few shows back. So we put something else together. So I'm hoping, go back to the other page. Apart from me, my favourite sax player is Candy Dulfer. All right, Ron, I'll give you that. Mate. So now he's always coming up with new ideas, too many of them really. But he's a good soul. He's just got too much energy. And so one of his favourite ever folk tunes is a tune called Barbara Allen. So I had heard it, but I'd never tried to play it until yesterday or the day before. So I see what he means. It's a beautiful tune, but if you look at the words, they're miserable, man. Miserable words. So it's a good job that I'm not going to sing it. I'm going to play it on... actually, I have to play it on 2 whistles. 2 of my tin whistles, penny whistles. Irish whistles. Because he's got all clever with it, and he takes it into a different key, a minor key in the middle. So that'll be a bit of clattering around while I change. But let me first of all see if he's ready. If we can find him. Are you there, Mr. Robin Smith? keyboard player extraordinaire, arranger, producer, bitch to the stars. Are you there down in Cheltenham in your abode? Well, hey, he's there. Hello, mate.
Barbara Allen.
Yeah, Barbara Allen. Okay, let's do it.
Barbara Allen.
Yes,
Thank you
mate.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, even. Chris,
Get your
brilliant.
teeth in.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, buddy. Oh, brilliant. Don't call me Chris, though, Robin. It is my real name, but it makes Sally upset when people call me Chris. Because I was rechristened. It was actually Dave Bowie again. Well, it was a girlfriend of his, early doors, when I was still at music college. We were two little flute players, first study flute players at Leeds College of Music, and I got rechristened the Snake. So, Barbara Allen, yeah. So that key change, that was a thing to reckon with. I got there, not too much clattering. So, you regulars, you'll have been hearing the haikus, the challenge set by Duncan, the sax mad dentist. And actually, there's none in today. But somebody who tried and failed to write one and sent an apology for failing to write a haiku in the form of a poem. So I think that's worthy of a recital. So here I go. Hang on. Cheers. What are you guys drinking, by the way? So this is the Sandhouse man, Mr. Richard Bell from the regions of Doncaster. And he's been inspired by the words from Snake's crew. So he says, Inspired by the words from Snake's crew, I sat to compose my own few. Though I lower the tone, you may now me disown. I can't seem to write a haiku. Well, your apology is accepted, Richard. So I dug out a few by the boss, Mr. Bashu, Mr. Matsuo Bashu. And one of these is one of my favourites that I had actually learnt, then I forgot it again because I'm old. But the other one's quite new to me, but I'll give you them both with the translation. Okay, just get my first line. Shizuke ya iwa ni shimiru semi no koe. And that translates as, tranquility penetrating the very rock. A cicada's voice. Now I meant to look up I was alright with the pronunciation of the Japanese, but is that the right way to pronounce cicada? You don't come across that word, do you? I mean, we call them grasshoppers, but is that the same animal? I don't even know. Anyway, somebody will correct me if I was wrong. I love that little verse. And then another one, which I thought was maybe quite a nice Easter one. So here we go. Nao mitashi hana ni akeyuku kami no kao. And that translates as, well, you might translate it differently. And there are many translations, but the one I chose was, all the more I wish to see in those blossoms at dawn the face of the god, or the face of God. All the more I wish to see in those blossoms at dawn the face of God. Sounds better. And the word for God is kami. But kami has a number of meanings. It also means your hair. That means paper, I think, as well. And I was writing that down today. And just throw something at me when it's time. And I'll play some more music in a minute. But it reminded me of a very similar word, which is kuma, which means bear. And I learned that word a few years ago. But there's also a word, the word for cloud is kumo. So you've got kuma, bear, and kumo, the clouds. I kept getting them mixed up. I don't get that much opportunity to practice my absolutely terrible Japanese on the gig because they all speak fantastic English, all the crew and all the Japanese musicians. But when I'm out and about on my nature rambles, then I'll just pick on people, especially elderly hikers, and start speaking Japanese to them. And I must have confused the bejesus out of this one old fella, because I said to him, "Kono chikako ni kumo imasu ka?" And I thought I'd been very clever in saying, because there are bears in Japan. As Sally keeps reminding me when she says, "Don't go off for walks on your own." And I've never seen one. And so I thought I'd said, "Are there any bears in this neck of the woods?" But I'd actually said, "Are there any clouds?" But because I'd used imaska instead of arimaska, I was saying, "They're living clouds. Are there any living clouds around?" So the guy just looked at me. But then I realised, and I changed the kumo to kuma. "Are there any bears around here?" And he said, "Nah, don't be daft." But he did say these little things called inishishi, which are like a little wild boar. And I have seen one of those snuffling away. I don't think they're dangerous at all. Right, swipe right, see what you're saying. Oh, you're not saying anything because I've lost the page. Recently closed windows. History. Oh, I don't know. What have I done? Completely lost you. Okay. I want to get you back. Joe's told me how to do this, but he's not here. Live stream. Oh, I can't do it. I have to get Joe to come and do it for me. No, so I don't know what you're saying. All right then. Why is it not in the history? Go on, you actually are throwing things at me now, aren't you? I don't know. Okay, so I can't tell what you're saying, but I can feel that you're out there. And I love your warmth and your company. So we'll have another tune. And so we've had one from the Trio album. And I'm going to play one from my very latest CD. And the Trio one only came out earlier this year. No, where are we? Late last year. But the relaxation, beautiful, mellow, chilled out one, that came out 2 weeks ago. Less than 2 weeks ago. But there it is. Time Stands Still. So I collaborated with some wonderful musicians on that disc. And one of them was a fellow with a wonderful, wonderful name, Mr. Inder Goldfinger from Bradford. And he's a percussion player of the finest order. And together we did this next piece, which is called The Hidden Shrine. And you'll hear him, he's playing all kinds of wonderful things. Some of them I don't even know what they look like, because he did his bits at his house, sent them back to me, because we work in isolation even when we're not told to. It's just the way it goes, I think, when we're recording. But something that sounds like it's a thunderbolt or something. It sounds like he's bashing a big metal sheet or something. But you'll hear all those sounds if I press the right buttons. So he's not here in person. He's here in the computer. The Hidden Shrine. Thank you, Mr. Inder Goldfinger. Oh, man. I kind of lost myself in that track then, in a good way mostly. And I hope that's what the music does for folks who've been listening to it. Well, I know it is. They're doing their yoga to it and their Pilates and Reiki and going to sleep to it. Yeah, your album sent me to sleep. I can see the reviews. Right, I'm going to have another bash because I like to see what you're saying. And Joe told me what to type in. Not live stream. He said I need to type in YouTube live dashboard. And there you'll be. So I'm trying it. I'm multitasking. I'm talking at the same time. Talking rubbish. That's the only thing. Ah, there you are. Got you back. And the first one from that I read was from Ben, and he says, "Wow, unreal." I hope that means in a good way. Hello, Claudia. Hello, Mia. Are you having a good school holiday? It's forever. No, it's not forever. Right. Oh, Sue's there. Mitsu. Water. Oh, it's loads of you. Loads of you. Loads of you. Hello, Andrea. Oh, she's got a pint of beer in front of her. I will have soon. Hello, Stella. And Stella says that the lighting actually looks good. It looks like the sun is streaming in, which it ain't. But that's nice to hear. I thought it was just lighting up my tummy. But I'll take that. Happy Easter, Stella. And I know not all of you can access the chat thing because you either you haven't signed up to YouTube or you're technically lacking like me and you haven't got a Joe. Because without Joe there'd be no show. And without Sally there'd be no shirts. So Sally's there at the computer, and as Stella must have done, send her an email. She's sally@snakedavis.rocks, or you can get a contact on the website. And then she'll get the message through to me by the wonders of me having my mobile phone just down there. Oh, I've got a photo to show you. Talking of mobile phones. I'm always telling you about the wildlife, aren't I? And I mentioned my little wren a few times, but she won't stay still for me to photograph her. I've got lots of photos of my wren's bottom, but finally I got her to stand still. Well, I didn't get her to stand still. I caught her standing still. So look, there she is. Can you see my little wren? And I call her my little wren, but I don't suppose she calls me her Snakey. I think she thinks, what's that bloke pointing his phone at me for? And there was a frog today. You know when a frog when they pop out of the pond and you just see their eyes and the top part of that. I love that. It's such a good sight. But I didn't manage to get a photo of him. But I'll try again because I'll have all week. Because the next show is Friday night at 7:00. Be there or be square. I will look forward to your company. I'm not going yet. And so I've got a week to think about what I might do for you. And I've got a massive request list already, but by all means hit me with requests. It's good. And if you subscribe to the Snaky channel, then you'll get a little reminder. And all you have to do to chat, I believe, is get a YouTube account, which I think is simple and easy. But I totally understand if you don't want another account and you don't want to sign up to yet another thing. Hello, Mark. Hello, Liz. Hello, Sam. Hello, Roger. Sam Roger. Michael Parsons is back. Ali's there. Judith Barton. You'll be back next Friday. Thank you so much. Oh, there's loads of you. What's Duncan saying now? Is he confusing us? Oh, you don't want to hear this, do you? Duncan Grant's haiku. I had a pet newt. He was small. We named him Tiny because he was minute. Oh, Duncan, we've heard that one. Look, you set the challenge. Do a decent one. All right. We need another tune. I should play something on the sax, shouldn't I? I'm a sax player, for goodness sake. Right, I will do. I'll play Send in the Clowns. I could take these off for a minute. It's nice to take the mouse-eaten headphones off for a little while. Arigato. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm imagining that you're clapping. Oh dear. I'm bonkers. Oh, what's going on? I'm surrounded by technology. Ooh. Ooh. I need another few assistants. You know, like in a proper TV studio, people doing all the knobs and pointing cameras and moving the sliders up and down and making sure I'm wonderfully lit. Joe's too busy drinking. Shouldn't be drinking. He's only 16. Sue Chan's back. Oh, I see. You're talking about my mouse-eating headphones. Yeah, because they're supposed to have, lovely black fabric around there, but the mice ate them. But it's a long time ago. We haven't got mice anymore. It wasn't even in this house or this studio. But one day I will buy some new ones, because actually one was crackling today as well. So you're starting to fund to buy me some headphones. Yes, please contribute if you'd like to the. Never mind about Joe's flipping hair dye. It's the new headphone fund. Oh. Oh, the requests are coming. Yeah. I'll get there. Michael, I'm glad you're enjoying the CD. Chat amongst yourselves. One more tune, I think, and then perhaps I'll bid you goodbye. No, this is a request as well. Something I've done before, but I love it. I'm going to enjoy doing it again. It's Annie Lane was asking me for this. It's a piece called Quiet Storm. It's on the Bansurai, which is an Indian version of the shakuhachi that I played twice tonight. Is a traditional Japanese bamboo flute. This is a traditional Indian bamboo flute called the Bansurai. So much simpler in construction in that it's just conical, not conical, cylindrical bit of bamboo from B&Q. And no, it's not from B&Q. And so there's not so much tapering going on, and the mouthpiece is not so delicately carved and everything, but still a really beautiful instrument. And one of the most beautiful things about this is somebody gave it to me for now in an Indian restaurant, which I was so happy about. It's in Sendai in Japan, and I was so touched. I'd offered him $100 for it. It was just standing there as an ornament, and it actually wasn't playable. But I said, I'll give you $100 for it. And he said, you can have it, mate. The next morning I went down and gave him 3 or 4 of my CDs, all the ones I had with me on tour. And for his kindness. And I often wonder if he ever took the cellophane off them. Bansurai. And so the tune that Annie requested is called Quiet Storm. And the story behind this is that when this studio, what we are here in now, you, me, all of us, in North Lincolnshire, when it was actually not quite finished being built, we had an album to do for Burden of Paradise, and I set up the recording gear, and synchronicity, a big storm broke right at that very moment when I was seeing if the mic was working and stuff. So I just threw the door open, put the mic as near to the elements as I dared, and recorded the storm for half an hour or so, and then picked a nice section of storm and played the Bansurai along with it, and it just works really nice. So here's a duet for North Lincolnshire Storm and Snaky Boy on his Bansurai. So yeah, Quiet Storm. It had a working title, Mumbai to Sendai, for a long time, but Quiet Storm. It's on the CD as well. Quiet storm. It's not that quiet, is it? Some noisy thunderclaps there. Thanks for requesting that, Annie. I hope you're there. And just see if there's any urgent questions to answer before I sign off and bid you. I have dog-eaten ones. Oh, headphones. I wonder what that was about. Thanks, guys. Oh, thank you, Steve. Brilliant. So, folks, stay in touch. You can find me on the website. You can send messages via Sally. Send in your requests. Stay in touch. You're part of the Snaky family now. If you'd like to sign up to the mailing list, that's what I always should say at the end of gigs before I say if you want to buy a CD on your way out. But, we run a mailing list, email or postal, whatever you like, and just once every couple of months to give you a bit of news and tell you where we're gigging at the moment. That's quite easy. I'm gigging here, and I really appreciate you guys joining me and having your company. There's always light in the darkness, and there's lots of darkness out there at the moment, but there are rainbows and there's light at the end. We'll get through it. Mainly by being kind to each other, looking after each other, and being a virtual community, and just keeping an eye out for each other. So keep on doing that, because I know you are, and keep on loving and bigging up our heroes, the NHS, the care workers, the frontline workers, people who are still getting into work every day and selling us Weetabix and butter and the things that we need to survive. Thank you, everybody. And have a great week. And great rest of Easter. Take tomorrow off. And see you on Friday, I hope. I really hope. And it's been fun. Thanks for staying with me, putting up with my ridiculous meanderings. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Bye 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 bye.